So you guys have been asking me for this one because my last video was filmed on a lake in Poland. So in this video, we are going to purposely focus on the Saxdor 270 and how she behaves in the ocean. Keep watching, should be fun. Single 300 horsepower V8 on this one, fellas, and we're just heading straight out into sort of lumpy conditions. We've had easterlies running for the last few days. I got Mitch up on deck with me. He's actually going to be giving me a second pair of eyes. I know there's always divers in the water here. We have spotted bubbles already today, so we're steering well clear of them. The swimmers are all a little bit closer to shore, but we have encountered a couple of humpback whales. They were further offshore, so the plan is to hug the rocks and try and demonstrate across some waves, into some waves and down some waves. But the plan might change. You know, if a whale surfaces in front of us, we're not actually allowed to approach them in New South Wales, so we just want to, or if you do, we've got to slow the heck down. It's more like let them approach us, but I'm not intending to approach any whales today, so if I see one, I'm going to move. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, let's just exit the bay. Still a bit cold here in Sydney. Winter's coming to an end. And there was pumping swells about a week and a half ago. You know, I'm talking 3 to 5 metre, offshore sort of conditions. So it was quite impressive, but we don't have that today. We don't have the joystick. We have the trim tabs operated via auto or manual through this keypad. And I'm gonna say it, I don't really like this system on this particular boat because it takes too long to react. I prefer those joysticks, but it is what it is. And at the moment, I've got it on manual and I have the trim tabs fully retracted and I'm playing with engine trim. My engine's all the way down. I'm doing 3,000 RPM, 14 knots through the water. I'm going to bring that speed up to about 20 knots. I got the swell coming in on me on this angle. I'm trying to stay about 150, 200 meters off the shoreline at the moment. So some of the waves are hitting me on the port bow at reasonably close wave periods. 16 knots, 3,200 revs. So this seat is the bench seat, so I don't have any adjustment here. It's literally just lean up against it, or I can sit down, and you can definitely sit and drive even in these lumpy conditions. It's a comfortable enough hull to do that. I'm just going to sustain this sensible speed, maybe bump it up to about 20 before we increase speed when we go across and down the waves, but maintain sensible speeds going into them. You might notice I've got my safety strap connected today. I've got a life jacket on as well, just because we're in the ocean. That's a logical thing to do. The other thing, just pay attention to my hand. It's going to move from the throttle head to the base like this, and that's just me adopting a bumpy water driving technique from my throttle hand. I'm also maneuvering the boat through some of these swells. When I see a steep one, I might change the angle of attack slightly so we present more of a cutting edge of the bow into the face of the wave. So if you see me doing that, it's just I'm going for smoothness as opposed to presenting a flat surface of the boat into a body of water where you might hear a bang. Okay, looking out for wildlife. It's mainly wildlife that I'm looking out for today. Beautiful view. Sydney just never gets boring. I don't live here anymore, but I thoroughly enjoy coming back. It's just the most beautiful harbour and offshore situation in the world. Going around some seagulls here. So now I'm going to point into these swells. Those seagulls are moved. Get out of the way. Yeah, they're fine. And maintaining 19 knots into the swells. Okay. So this windscreen, whilst sexy, it does not give you a great deal of wind protection. I am feeling the air on my face here. It gives you some spray protection, and if you hit a steep wave at high speed, as I did earlier today, you will introduce some spray up onto the deck. So that's 35 knots, hitting the back of a steep wave, it will do that. It was a good test. I just wanted to see what would happen, but it's because of the design of the hull, the cutting edge up the front, it's a smooth sensation, and at the moment, as you can see, at a 23 knot speed into lumpy waves, we're not actually taking any water up and over the deck. So looking around, don't see any whales. I'm going to go side on to the swells. Still maintaining that 22 to 23 knot speed now. And I'm just going to take the swell on the beam. Just got bird life in the water, so I'm all clear. And very comfortable angle. Side 2, you can hear the drains, the cockpit drains. They breathe a little bit. They go through the hull to let any water that's gathered in this area exit. So you can hear that. Doesn't really bother me, but just letting you know what that is. Now I'm going to go down the swells. So I didn't feel the need to lower the trim tabs to soften the ride. I'm increasing my speed there, 4,100 revs, 4,200 revs, and rolling up and over some waves, just doing a little bit of technical driving, trying to keep it smooth, 25 knots, 26 knots. The boat's maintaining pretty level attitude, and it's still dry. My visibility is excellent. As I said, I do have some wind on my face, so if you're in a cold place or if it's winter like now, put a beanie on. That's really comfortable. Let's take those waves on a slight angle, 28 knots. So as you see, I've got my hand on the throttle base, gives me more stability. Then I can use my thumb and my index finger for throttle control. Let's speed up. Really enjoyable. I can hear that drain breathing a little bit. Woohoo! This is great. So 31 knots there. That's about as fast as I want to go out here in the ocean. She'll do a lot faster in the flat stuff. You've probably seen that on my other video, so it's kind of irrelevant. This video is all about the bumpy water, but sustainable, comfortable, and dry if you control your speed and angle of attack. You do just need to watch out for the wind, because we have a little bit less wind protection on this design when we're comparing it to the 320 and definitely the 400. So summertime, no issues, no worries at all. Wintertime, rug up. That's all. Very, very cool. Let's go take it back into some flat water. So guys, I hope that was useful. Obviously, if you want to see the tour, I've done another video. It's on my channel. You can find that in the channel page. I don't know how to... Yeah, just look for the little question mark. You can search Saxdor 270 and you'll find the other video if you want to see the walkthrough. She clearly is an offshore performer. We can cruise at the low 20s or the high 20s. Down swell, we were, up to 30 plus knots in some decent waves there. So I think the drone shots do the talking for us, and into the swell, low 20s in sort of conditions like we had there, which were lumpy, bunched up waves, short wave period. She's very, very capable. I'd be happy to take this thing up and down the coast, and it's just a really, really fun, useful whip. So if you just want to go places without restrictions, expand your area of operations, that's when a hull like this Saxdor 270 matched with a go fast engine like 300 horsepower Merc on the back is just going to serve you well. Hope that was useful. See you in the next one.